I don't know, Darrell. I don't see a whole lot of give and take here. Do you?
Well, it could be just a little rivalry there. You know, Carl may be just trying to. What did Kyle tell the little Wallace at Richmond? When you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Right.
I would remember that, I think.
Martin Truex, 1 lap down, makes his pit stop as we begin our second consecutive round of green flag stops.
Carl Edwards going to win the battle this time in that 99 car. That will put him into the 7th position.
Elliott Sadler's in.
I think we'll be seeing about all the leaders within the next 3 to 5 laps on pit road for 4 tires and a full tank of Sunoco race fuel.
I tell you, Jeff Gordon has really looked steady out front here. He's run some real consistent lap times, and that car has been really good on this run.
Yeah, probably the only car I see right now that's keeping tempo with him would probably be Matt Kenseth in that 17 car, who's sitting back there in 3rd spot, about 3.5 seconds back.
There's Matt. Jimmy Johnson trying to run him down.
I think whatever changes they made to the 48 will undo the next time in. I think they hurt that car a little bit.
Matt Kenseth, a couple of laps away from.
He just had a description of his car. He said in the center, it's a little bit spongy. That's the only issue he's talking about right now, right in the center.
I'll take spongy over free any day.
Probably not as near as severe.
No.
And the stopwatch kind of backs it up.
I kind of like spongy.
I'm not sure what spongy means, though, unless he's just looking for more grip, which I don't think you ever find all the grip you're looking for.
I think what he's saying is it's not down in the racetrack as much as I'd like for it to be.
Jeff Burton is in, Sam Hornish, and here is Kurt Busch in front of Steve.
Mike, they basically want to undo the changes they made on the last stop. They're going to drop the track bar 2 rounds, of course, 4 tires for Kurt Busch. He had dropped to the 8th position after running in the top 5.
The 2 Hendrick cars, Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, have led all but 5 laps today. Any surprise to that?
No.
Not really. They looked that good in practice. They looked that good in qualifying. Those cars have been on it the whole weekend.
Michael Waltrip getting serviced, and Clint Boyer is in front of Krista.
That's right. Clint Boyer's been fighting tight in center, loose off. Right now he says killing the center, still loose off, really loose off for Clint Boyer.
Reed Sorensen and Eric Almirola making pit stops. And here comes Kevin Harvick and Casey Kane onto pit road. There's Sorensen. Matt?
Harvick waved off an idea of maybe making a track bar adjustment. They're going to try to free this car up with an air pressure change this segment and see how big of a change that does change the 29 car. Meanwhile, Chad Canals calling the 48 car into his box. Canals' car tight earlier. The last run, it was actually free, especially on entry to turn 3. Chassis adjustment on both sides of the 48 car.
Kyle Busch down pit road, and Casey Mears locked the tires up coming in. Joey Logano's in as well, as is Brian Vickers. Dick?
Well, Kyle Busch's car is much better this round than it was in the last, so they are going to give him a little bit of service. Not major changes on that number 18 automobile, as one of the cans of fuel winds up on the back deck. Matty.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in, Dick. They're going to make a chassis adjustment for Jr. on both sides of the car. He said it rode great for a while, and then all of a sudden the right rear just came unhooked, Steve.
Steve.
Matt Kenseth on pit road. Now he said his car had gotten a little bit free at the end of the run. You just saw him clean the grill, the temperature, water temperature up to 235 degrees. 4 tires for Matt Kenseth. Jeff Gordon hits pit road.
Yeah, I knew when Matt Kenseth hit pit road that Jeff Gordon in that 24, he would not be far behind. You see Greg Biffle in the 16 following him down pit road.
Steve.
Mike, listening to Greg Irwin bark the commands. They're going to go down on the track bar for Greg Biffle. Dick.
Jeff Gordon came into this race needing only 75 laps to have 20,000 career laps led, and it looks like he could well do it. They do have a wrench in the back deck of the car for the first time today. The car loose on entry, tight in the middle, loose off. Gordon wanted that changed. Krista with a 5.
For Mark Martin, it's going to be a track bar adjustment. That's because his car has improved this run, but it's still a bit loose. It actually would get tighter as the run went on. A track bar adjustment and tires and fuel for Mark Martin.
Like that 16 car, Greg Biffle, Greg Irwin-led crew, they won the battle off pit road with that 24 car of Gordon.
Brian Vickers in now. I said he was in earlier. Actually, it was not. It was his teammate Scott Speed. So Vickers makes his stop, and that should pretty well cycle us through green flag pit stops.
Well, I like that. That 16, man, when he came out of the pits and he got up on the back straightaway, he left Jeff Gordon in the dust.
Now, we've now been under green for 81 consecutive laps, going all the way back to lap 46 on that second restart.
The new leader is the Ford Fusion of Greg Biffle. We're just past halfway in the Auto Club 500.